Alrighty, buddy. So let's just jump in. It's been at this point a few weeks, about 2 weeks since the big releasing of the energy into the storm. You guys have started noticing that people are gaining magic abilities. Gavin and his followers have set up a school to help people learn how to do this magic safely, learn how to use it responsibly, and a group of you also hunted down criminals who were using their new powers for nefarious means. And how you guys have started thinking about what you want to do with your life beyond this whole adventure that you've been thrown on. Starting months ago when you met Eris in the cave. You now finally start thinking about other things. What to do next. You have more magic than anybody else by a huge margin. You have extraordinary wealth, a nigh unsinkable ship, the respect of the lords of Treviri, many of the people. So, what would you guys like to do for the next 2 years? It's really unfortunate that Tyler can't really talk, because I feel like the most, the first thing chronologically would be going to Bonnell. But we could pull that off as Bonnell by way of Ashes somehow. If y'all have an idea how you're going to get to Ashes from the north.
Boat. We crossed the mountains once, and we're not doing that
again. Yeah. Problem is, the war is going to somewhat impede that.
Like, how much?
You guys remember what happened last time you went through there. There was a blockade. You had to be smuggled in. You went, scuba diving beneath the surface.
Right, but it's been 2 weeks. Is the war over yet?
You did hear that the blockade had been broken, but really that just means that there's more fighting going on with ships out of the ocean. I know you joke, but it's not going to be a very long war. Just mild spoilers on that. So yeah, you're just going to sail down, try and...
What about arming the White Squid first?
Do you have better weapons than you guys?
Things that look bad to other people.
Oh.
Like cannon? That's not a thing.
Well, the White Squid does have two, what are they called?
It doesn't even have to be functional, just for show, so that people...
you guys have the diagram of the White Squid. It's got a big ass, the big bows, but what are those called?
Mounted crossbows.
Ballista. Yeah, 2 ballistas, and then 8 crossbows mounted on the ship with flaming arrows. It is pretty fucking intimidating if that's the way you're going.
And we can control elements. I'm not afraid.
Okay. Well, Gavin's going to stay behind and kind of keep an eye on the ship, take care of any sort of shenanigans, any crime that occurs around, and also kind of have his character out of the way of the current events, so it doesn't matter when I forget that he's not here. So you guys let the council know, let Gavin know that you're heading off, and you get on the ship. Jaws, are you bringing Jokita?
Wait, is Gavin not coming with us?
No, he's going to stay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Jokita. I'm not sure that I trust other people with Jokita, and I'm not sure that I trust Jokita by herself separately.
Okay.
You take her eggs?
Yeah. Again, it's just a mistrust of anything that's new. New for other people. So yeah. Bring it along.
Okay. So it takes you a little while. Actually, roll animal handling just to see. It's going to take you a little bit of effort to get Jokita to trust you to kind of like move her eggs and her nest onto the ship and go with you. I mean, she definitely does trust you, but
did you think about that? Like, you're going to be hatching little baby Jokito on board.
Well, we have no idea how long the gestation period is.
The gestation period
She's
is
tiny.
how long it takes.
I'm going to guess not long.
I got a 6.
Okay, so as you first go to reach out to, like gather up her nest, she just bites you right on the hand and like hisses at you a bit. And it takes a little coaxing to sort of convince her that it's gonna be okay. You would take a point of damage, but
1 point of damage. Woo.
yeah. But eventually you do convince her, you pick up the nest and you bring it over onto the ship with her. Like, she doesn't leave the nest while you have it. Like, she stays right there with you at all times. Even like closer than she normally does. And you bring her on the ship and you begin to set sail. This is the fast direction because you can go up into the storm and it's sort of like it'll catch the wind of the storm to carry you over. And you bring on just a couple other extra crewmen just to keep things together because you don't have Gavin, who is your normal big sailor who would save you from incompetence.
All right, then.
I mean, like, he was the sailor. He's the only one who had a sailor background. Like,
Boat guy.
He's the boat guy. But you sail out just to kind of stay away from the fighting, and try to find a sneaky way into Ashes without like going all the way around the blockade, trying to avoid the big ships until you get closer in. I'm gonna need a stealth roll. Let's go with advantage from whichever one of you wants to roll it. It's weird because you're all...
It should be probably me or Jason. I don't know if Jason is stealth.
I don't have a stealth skill.
Yeah, it would have to be somebody who can drive the ship.
+8. How's that? Go with mine?
Yeah, Hadrian's driving.
+10.
You said with advantage?
Yeah, because you got like planning that you can do. You got some assistance from,
22.
Okay, so you, through the assistance of your friendly neighborhood otherworldly being, you keep an eye on things from a distance. The creatures let you know when their ships run by, and you manage to take a path that weaves through all of the combat that's occurring. And then go farther south and come in from the south as if you're just providing support and fit into like the stream of ships going north to join the battle on the side of Arcos. And with a little knowledge from Jason, a few gold coins put into the right pockets, you make dock. And welcome to the City of Ashes. City on the desert. You guys have been here before. This is where the heist was. You remember it's extremely segregated along economic lines.
How much worse has it gotten?
If anything, the rich parts have gotten worse, but the poor parts are the same, if not a little better, because they're sort of bleeding into the rich parts because there was a bit of a not a coup really, but some angry mobs that kind of came through last time you were here, actually, and just burned through the city. Order does seem to have been reestablished, but
Jason, in character, have you told us what why we're going to Arcos or Ashes? What city are we in?
Ashes.
We're in Ashes, but I was complacent with pretty much anywhere in Arcos. The monologue that he would have given you
Yeah.
on before we left would have been, well, I haven't done much good in my life. Ever since I first picked up a gun, all I've done is hurt people. When Eris first offered us the power, I refused because I knew I couldn't be trusted with it. When after we killed Jareen, and I got that weapon, I proved it. Even when I died, I thought maybe I could do some good then, because at least then I couldn't physically hurt anyone.
And you say it again, I will have you see.
But maybe then I can do something right. But we let Eris die, Mark, Morgan. And then the Veery learned that they could come and tear shit up because of me. I got them killed. I got the Seraphim killed. And who knows what the fuck that we just did, but if that isn't going to bite all these people in the ass, I'm tired. I just want to go back to the desert, back home.
All right. Well,
And here we are.
here we are.
Okay. So you guys literally stand on the docks outside of Ashes. We're going to jump into real time here just to this is somewhat significant. City under guard because you're in the war. What are you doing? Going anywhere?
Y'all head out west.
Did you say I'll or y'all?
And y'all, I can't go anywhere.
Kind of. Yeah, we can go west. Just let us know where to go.
And yeah, I will guide them.
Okay.
And we're going to go about a day, the better part of a day, out into the desert where I got scarred.
Okay. So the desert abuts pretty right up to the city of Ashes. It is in the desert and feeds off of this river that runs through the desert, creating a patch of green on either side. It extends some places only about 100 feet, some places a mile or two off into the land. And you follow this river. It's a common path into the desert because at least there's water. And you come to about 6-7 hours into this hike, you come to a spot in the desert that is the greenery that is fed from the river spreads out quite a bit, a full mile away from the river, and it just seems to go on as far as your vision can see. And you start to notice a collection of animals that you would not expect in a desert. Animals you would expect in more wet areas like the plains or just the edge of a forest. You see your normal just squirrels and foxes, and as you're walking, you every once in a while hear just the howl of a coyote at the distance. You recognize this place, Jason? It is a fairly common stopover for people traveling through the desert. However, people who make it even this far away from the city, tend to have a bit more. Either they have respect for nature or they're trying to hide their presence. So despite it being a very nice place to, seemed like a good place to be, you don't see a lot of artifacts of humanity. Just fairly peaceful, actually.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Is there any way that I can convince you not to do this? I mean,
Do what?
I don't know, just leave. It seems like there's some finality behind what you're leaving us. It seemed pretty clear that we could get you a new body or make something.
Nah, I spent enough time trying to convince myself. But I know y'all can.
Convince yourself of what exactly? Because I don't really understand how you can be upset that you made all these decisions and hurt all these people by, taking ownership of their own choices and actions, but then you get to skip out. I don't understand that.
Is this Anastasia or whatever your name is now?
Vaso. Both.
Connor doesn't understand the question.
Yeah, we didn't catch the beginning of what you said. You want to repeat what you said?
Okay, is it a problem with my audio? Do I need...
I think there was clinking at the beginning, and it just muted out what you were saying, the first sentence.
Okay, sorry. So many problems with my audio. Okay. So Charles had just said about getting a new body, and Jason had said he spent so long trying to convince himself, and that's when Vaso asked, convince yourself of what exactly? Because I don't really understand how you can make all these choices for all these people that hurt them so much and take ownership for their choices and their actions independent from yours, and then skip out on what happened. I don't understand that.
Just me being here has caused a fuck ton of issues for everyone. So I just think it's things get better for
Well, I
y'all.
wouldn't say I make things so easy either, but that doesn't seem to matter because I'll just come back.
I think my body count's a bit higher than yours, at least in the past couple weeks.
Well, but I've lived 1,000 years and I don't even remember it. How can you be so sure?
Intuition.
Okay, so let me see if I got this right. Intuition is that over 1,000 years I've killed less than you have, but not intuition that the Seraphim and the Viri made their own choices and acted independently in the face of circumstances presented to them. Somehow that's your fault, but my body count's lower? I don't understand.
I've got about 2 genocides, maybe a third, on my conscience right now.
Why? I don't understand why.
I think their lawyer is leaking. think
You were able to kill off a character. Let me do the same, damn it.
You don't know that I did that. And you wouldn't let David kill off Mark. Why can't I do this?
To be fair, that was Tyler that was not letting me kill off Mark.
And Jason.
I did a lot.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
You can still kill off your character, but I'm going to make you do this, like, despite her.
Shit, what's your name now?
Vaso?
Vaso. Okay.
Or I think it is. David no longer has
Yeah,
that?
it'd still be Vaso for simplicity.
Okay. Okay.
Damn it, I don't know how to respond to this. I really don't.
You get a lot of nothing from Jason. Kind of just fall silent. Silent.
And I'm gonna start becoming this.
Okay. You feel your mind settle into the desert. And for the first time in a while, you feel just a touch of belonging. This has always been your home. And you've been all over, but I always felt a connection to this place. And you feel your mind stretch out from what was just this pinpoint here with the group. And you start to feel the contents of the desert, just the countless lizards and bats, all of the wildlife around this like little oasis here. You feel not one but 3 packs of coyotes that occupy in different territories around here. You pass over a few herds of camels that are farther out actually into the desert. You stretch west a bit towards where the desert starts to meet the forest of the mountains, and you start to sense much larger creatures, including a pack of lions that is pursuing one of the herd of camels through the desert. You also sense more people than you would have expected, just gathered around. I mean, you've traveled through the desert, but the people in the desert tend to be nomadic. They tend to be very wary of strangers, but you find these little villages, these little traveling families all over, going from oasis to oasis, some of them with more permanent settlement in some of the bigger oases, but mostly nomadic. But you just sort of watch them from a distance. And as you settle kind of deeper into the desert, in this form, time begins to flow a little bit differently. And you watch pretty quickly as, I mean, we'll go over exactly how this happens later, but you watch as the gang packs up and heads back east.
no, not yet. I want to stay the night.
Okay.
I'm gonna take 8 hours. It's okay. I'm gonna take 8 hours for plant growth in
Okay.
this oasis kind of area, and extend it a half a mile as a sort of natural, landmark tribute kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So
now that Jason's one with the land or something like that, try to enrich it a little bit.
okay. So Jason, on that first night, just shortly after you sort of settle in the desert, you watch as this fantastic bloom of just greenery erupts around Shaz, and it extends half a mile, and what was already, fairly nice, well-habited area becomes just overgrown and green and beautiful. And you recognize this as for what it is. But the next day they move on.
Before we do, I'm gonna do my 4th level spell in a giant column of flame and burn the sand
Okay.
into something like glass. And say that not all of us get to make that choice.
Yeah, and you hear that, Jason, as you watch as they leave. There's now a perfect circle of sort of rough, natural glass right on the edge of the river, in a place that will be noted by the people that travel through this area. It'll be possible to miss it as you travel through. And given its size and everything, it will be there for a very, very long time. But you watch them leave. And unless Hadrian has anything to offer, they head along their way. And you just spend the next few months existing, doing your best to kind of not really exist. But you start to grow vaguely fond, at least from a distance, of a few of the villages, a few of these little nomadic tribes, I guess is more accurate. And you watch them from a distance, just go about their lives. But one day, one of the villages, as you're paying attention to it, a young man leaves the village and goes off towards this tiny little oasis. It's 3 trees and a small handful of bushes around a tiny pool. And he goes and sits next to the pool, sort of just stares at it for a while, takes out a pocket knife and starts cutting the flowers out, off of the bush next to him. And he takes a little mortar and pestle and he grinds them up a bit and rolls up the flakes and starts smoking Asawar. And you watch the the euphoria pass over his face, and you can't help but sort of just get drawn in a little closer and share the experience with him. And as you do that, you watch as the euphoria turns into a bit of a calm, and he looks around just a bit. He seems like he has that feeling there's someone else in the room, someone kind of watching him, but he looks at peace. He seems calm. He spends the night, and then the next day goes back into the village, or goes back to join his tribe and continues on with his life. A few weeks later, that same young man, along with a middle-aged man and woman and a very old man, walk out to that same spot, and you watch this young man cut off some of the flowers again, and he grinds it into some Asawar. And you're not close enough in really to see, hear specifics of what they're saying, but he kind of grinds up enough for all of them. It's just a small amount of the Asawar. And he as you're watching, you notice that the old man is very old. And he seems to be having trouble even walking. He's not really saying a lot to them. But they all start to smoke the Aswar here in this little oasis. And
That's such a great influence.
you watch as the old man, they have to sort of kind of coax him and walk him through it. He gains a little bit of a smile on his face. And again, you're drawn in. You can't help but to be drawn into this. And you see a little bit of excitement go over the young man's face, the one who'd been there before. And you watch the old man perk up a bit. And he starts talking and telling stories. And he has a big smile on his face and sort of an energy and a just jubilance that you haven't seen before. And he also seems to have he looks around just a little bit here and there between sentences as if there's someone else there with him. But he looks at peace. And you watch him grow tired, and they kind of make up a bed for him there by the water. And as the Asawars fades out, he lies down, and after about another 30 minutes, he passes away. Peaceful look on his face. You watch the middle-aged couple kind of hold each other, and they cry a bit. And then they put together, they kind of bring him back into the tribe for proper burial.
Great.
This becomes a bit of a tradition it doesn't happen that often. First, just with this tribe. But sometimes these tribes intersect and they group together for a while and they spread out, and you watch as this sort of tradition continues to grow as people, if someone reaches that point where they are old enough, they're going to die of old age, they go to Oasis, they find some Aswar and pass away like that. Becomes just a part of your life. And this is how you pass. We're going to just go with, this is how you pass the next 15 years. Watching over the desert. There'll be a few other things that go on, but this is kind of the main thing that starts happening with you. Yeah. All right.
Woo!
So the rest of you, you left Jason, traveled back through the desert.
How's your body count now, Connor?
Getting so much better. At least I can stay high
Had to
forever.
be done. Had to be done.
Okay, so you guys travel back to Ashes. You have to pay a few more bribes to get back into the city, get onto your boat, and sail away. South this time.
Do they lose the spell slot?
No, actually. We'll talk about that in a bit. Because I can't remember the names of the cities that I invented. Okay, and you travel south to the city of Egrar, which is the eastern port city of Bonal. Are you just approaching? Are you just going in?
Yeah.
As Chaz and Hadrian, are you disguising? Are you bringing Jokita?
We're approaching which city?
Egrar in Bonal. It's the eastern port city of Bonal. So,
did we get word back from Arnold before we left about his letter to Bonal?
Yeah, but the letter simply said your words will be considered. Not overly helpful, you know.
Yeah. Well, Chaz, what do you think? Are we going in as ourselves?
I mean, yeah. What are they gonna do? Arrest us?
They can try.
Okay, so you're walking along the docks as you say this, and a guardsman comes up to you. Chazashin?
Depends on who's asking.
This is the guard of Bunnell.
You're the one guard?
No, I am of the guard of Bunnell.
I mean, things really have gone downhill since I was here last. If there's only just you.
Chazashin, you're under arrest.
You're under citizen's arrest for claiming to be the one guard of Bonnell. That's just preposterous.
I am a member of the guard. We are called a guard.
Point of order. Sorry. Did Vaso come with us? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of which, David, do I feel magic here? Has it reached this far, or any residual?
No, it's not reached this far. Actually, that's an interesting point. You feel just slightly constrained isn't the right word, but you feel if you stray too far from Hadrian or Chaz, you'll reach a point where you can't stray from them. Like you can't go any further. You, for some reason, feel a little anchored in this part of the world.
But not anywhere else. This is new.
This is new.
Do I remember feeling this somewhere else in my life?
You only remember like 2 weeks.
I remember flashes of other things. I thought I might remember this about Osen. We were together for a couple 100 years.
You're not sure. It feels strange, but you felt lots of strange things. So.
And it's both of them?
Yeah.
Not just Hadrian?
Well, it's either of them.
Well,
Yeah, you can't go away from both of them.
but I could go away from Hadrian and be with just Chaz.
Correct, or the opposite.
It's not exclusive to Hadrian. Okay.
So did the guards make any indication of noticing a flaming whatever she is today?
I mean,
I'm not flaming. I'm in my hellhound form.
are you appearing in front of the guards here?
Sure. I assume I was in my form on the boat, and when they didn't disguise themselves, I didn't either.
Okay. So as you're walking out,
We'll see if that was the right choice.
the guards seem to have recognized the white squid. It's fairly distinctive. As it was coming in, have heard the stories about this being your ship. So we're ready. So this happened as you were getting off the ship. And as you're having this exchange, Vaso leaps off the ship, the terrifying black dog with red glowing eyes. And the guard that was talking to you just drops his shield and fucking runs.
Well, that went better than expected. I guess we're not under arrest.
Yeah. No, wait,
Can
no.
I send a chaos bolt after him?
Sure. Roll for an attack.
Wait, no.
You run, you get chased. Oh no. Oh, here it is. Sorry.
I feel like if Vasa
And
wasn't...
I just have a flat roll, right? For my initiative or attack.
No, your attack should be like +7 or something insane.
Oh, 18 plus 7. 25.
Faso. We're losing the high ground, the moral high ground.
All right. How much damage does that do? What does that do?
Okay. 2d8 plus 1d6 damage.
Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not like actually trying to hurt him though. But you run away, you get chased.
That's like 12 damage.
Okay. You don't know? It is thunder damage. uh, 7 points of damage.
Okay, you watch as it hits him in the back, and he goes down to his knee for a moment, but like puts his arm back and kind of pulls himself back up and keeps running.
Wait, I run after him.
He just keeps running. Ignore. Are you like?
I mean,
You're just gonna keep
fast?
following him?
I can magic myself faster than him.
All right. So you magic yourself faster, and you catch up to him pretty quickly with Vaso kind of running with you, I assume, because he's chasing or he's running, must be chased. And eventually reach out. You can put a hand all out on his shoulder if you want, or you can like speak out to him. How do you want to approach?
I want to be yelling the whole time. He's like, hold on.
He doesn't really listen until you get.
Then I grab his shoulder when he.
Alrighty, and he like shakes it off and turns around real violently, looking at you. What is that? And he's pointing over at Vaso.
That's Vaso today. This is a misunderstanding. We didn't attack you. You don't need to say anything.
He turns around. He points at his back. Look.
That wasn't any of the so-called criminals.
As he points, either heal or mend or a combination of the two to like fix both him and the jacket.
Yeah. As he's pointing, it stitches up both his skin and then his armor on top of it, and he like pokes at it a couple times, looks around. I thought you guys were just making shit up. You guys are really magic, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Holy shit.
Well, I am. They're not exactly magic, but I am.
Big, terrified look, and he backs up a bit. Please don't hurt me again.
No. We're all good here. Vaso's not going to hurt you anymore. It was just a misunderstanding. Everything's copacetic. And we're going to go back to Bonnell anyways, but just not under arrest.
Of course not.
My man.
I'm sorry. I thought I was arresting a liar and a fraud, not one with abilities as such as yourself. Yes, you're free to go. I am not exactly a captain here, but...
What are you talking about? Abilities such as his, he can't do anything. Have you seen this guy?
I would beg to differ, and he points at his arm. There it is. At his back. He just healed me in seconds. Never seen something like that. That can only be magic. Real magic.
Well, you should get out more.
Just take.
I've always wanted to be an adventurer. Took a life as a guard.
Very
Safer.
Always a fun place. Never get to see anything good. If you go out in the world, you might see more things like me.
Maybe I will. And he kind of looks down. He looks down in the insignia on his armor. Maybe I will.
Or maybe like this creature. Yeah, look at that big bad thing.
And if you need anything, come to the guards and ask for Alardin. I will help you. But
Alardin.
Thank you.
That's a stupid name. What can you do for us?
Vaso.
My mother made a lot of poor decisions. This is just one of them.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Alardin.
A lot of people are going to be scared of you, Vaso. I would recommend lying low or not attacking people.
Well, don't run away.
That...
I just gave him a shrug.
Thank you. He looks over at you, Adrian. Thank you for healing me.
Of course.
Okay. Be on your way. Be careful. Not all the guards will be quite as understanding as myself. I'll tell the ones I know. Oh, he's a Jakey. He's a cutie pie.
Hi, Jake.
He looks so elegant.
Bye. And a bow tie.
Yeah. Jakey in a bow tie.
I mean, if your cat's not wearing a bow tie, is it even a cat?
Right? Everybody in the office is like, how are you get your cat to wear a bow tie? I'm like, I just put the bow tie on him. Like, what? Anyway, sorry. Anyway, so you, Alarding goes out ahead of you a bit through the city. Unless there's something you'd want to do in the city now, you find yourself with fairly open passage through the city. Did you bring the horses?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I brought Barbaro.
Barbaro and
Gallant.
Gallant. Oh God, it's just Barbaro and Gallant, and you two, and then okay, yeah.
I mean, we could bring the additional horses if we wanted, but that seems silly.
No, I'm just.
Unlike their owners, they're not dead.
Mhm.
Except my original one. Anyway,
okay. So you just heading straight to Bonnell? What's your plan? How are you
Yeah.
approaching this? You're welcome to kind of give it to me in broad strokes if you want. If you want to RP going into the city, the first two things,
I mean,
up to you.
my plan was just to walk the fuck straight in and see what happens.
All right, walk
Yeah,
the fuck straight in. I like it.
we pretty much did that already.
Well, into Bonnell, like.
Oh, Bonnell. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it worked well in Egrar. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work again in Bonnell.
Long enough that you're starting to spew off spells. And the first one actually goes off in just the middle of the city of Egrar. Just a firebolt, just boop, up in the air. It explodes with a big sound. Hadrian, you notice this. You recognize this sign by this point.
Oh boy, we Vaso is not gonna last much longer. We gotta be careful where we take her.
I mean, do we need to take Vaso, like, just for some exercise? Like, run around, burn off some energy? What's the deal here?
Don't talk about me like I'm not here. It's gonna be another couple of hours before I lose control again, and that really has nothing to do with my exercising.
Well, how do we help you keep control?
I don't know. I've never been able to.
Can you cast a spell into this? I hold up the battery, but don't take anything out of it. Just put something in it.
You like tentatively hold out the battery.
You gotta reciprocate, man.
Huh? You were getting here.
I didn't say anything.
No, I made a comment, but I'm not here, so.
I'm going to disappear and not respond.
Okay. Well, then I'll just... Well, let's just keep going, Chaz. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay. Nothing bad could happen here.
All right. You on good horses on the road, packing lightly. You can make this trip in a day. It'll be you'll be moving quickly, but as you approach the city, there's a bit of a commotion by the gate. People sort of shouting to get in. The gates are closed, and there are guards on the outside holding people back. You're gonna pick up where you can't quite hear what the shouting's about or anything, but presumably to get in the city. But
okay, yeah.
But you start riding in through this crowd.
The crowd part at all as we come up?
I mean, a little bit.
They're all like on foot and wearing horses.
Yeah, they're all on foot, and you got horses, and it's not like so densely packed that you couldn't make your way through, but not until right up until you get up to the door.
Well, let's try to get up to the door and see what all the commotion is about.
This doesn't bode well.
So you make your way forward, and people are shouting to get in, and the guards are mostly ignoring the people. Every once in a while, one of them will shout out, "The city is closed. Be on your way." But then otherwise remain silent.
I guess I'll walk up to the like closest guard, and I'll say, "What's going on here? Why is the city closed?"
It's not my business to know. And he looks over at Chaz. You're Chaz Sheen, aren't you?
Yes, of course he is.
Yeah. And
Get in now. Go.
yeah, thank you.
And they push the crowd back and like separate the guards a little bit, and you go walk through. And the big gates don't open, but there's another like a door within the gate, and you can hop off your horses and lead them through there. And they open that door.
Thank you. And I tip the hat to him.
Yeah. You walk in, and there are guards right on the other side. Chazashin and Hadrian
Swall.
Blackwater.
Blackwater, thank you. Hadrian Blackwater, you are under arrest for the practice of witchcraft.
No, we're not. Can I do this again?
Do what again?
Complain. The little people are saying that we're under arrest.
I'm
again.
not the person to complain to. I have no control over this.
I know, but listen, I'm looking out for your best interest and stopping you from doing this, which would be a huge mistake.
I really wouldn't recommend it.
I'm just trying to help you.
I'm just doing my job here, sir. Sir, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, and I don't want you to get hurt. And this is a very dangerous
Threat?
No. It's a dangerous world out there, and this is like a dangerous action.
You're the most dangerous thing if these claims are true.
If one of them starts stepping towards me, like to put a hand on my shoulder or something, as soon as he does that, I want to turn on fire shield.
Okay. So this happens right as you're going in, because they're moving in to arrest you. So not the one who's talking to Chaz, but another one moves towards you, Hadrian. And as you turn on the fire shield, he drops the shackles that he had in his hand, and he takes like 2 steps back.
Now look what you did. I told you didn't want to do this.
What? I didn't. And he like reaches down and picks up the shackles. Sir, you're under arrest. And he steps forward again with the shackles.
I would like to use mage hand to like just try to like smack him out of his hand.
All right. Roll a strength check just real fast.
With my strength?
Yeah.
14.
So you smack his hand with the shackles, and he like lets go for a moment, but still like holds on to them and just looks terrified. Looks over at his companion and just keeps walking backwards into the guardhouse. The other one looks a little scared and just, it is my duty. I have to take you in. You can talk to people who can do something about your arrest warrant.
Hey, Vaso, you care to make an entrance?
No.
You could like look around for a second.
I bet it'd be really fun.
Guard like looks at you for a second.
Listen, friend.
I don't put the shackles. Just let me escort you.
How about this? We don't want you to lose your job. Well, why don't we make it look good, like you put up a good fight, and then you just let us go on our merry way. We can put you to sleep, and you'll wake up. Not like permanently, just like temporarily. And then
Make a persuasion. With advantage, because Hadrian's helping you with like an intimidation side of it.
well, the second one was a natural one, but the first one was 16 plus. Persuasion?
Yeah.
24.
24. He looks over at the guard at the guard station. You watch the other guard is watching just vaguely through the window, and as soon as they make eye contact, the guard just like ducks behind, and he looks around. And there's nobody really around. Some people that were milling about, saw Hadrian's fire shield, and just fucking got out of there. He's like, but just not too much, please.
Too much what? I'm not gonna hurt you.
Don't. Just I need this job.
Sleep.
I have a family to feed. And he just collapses mid sentence. I'm not even making a roll. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna like slip 10 platinum into his pocket.
Fucking Christ.
Jesus.
That's okay. That's like a year plus salary for a guard.
It's 10 gold to platinum or 100 gold to a
And
platinum?
gold
10.
platinum.
Yeah, okay.
Gold's a lot. Gold's a lot though.
Oh, I know.
Okay. All right. Ooh, he's going to the good brothels tonight. All right. So the streets are fairly clear here since Hadrian intimidated some people and you guys got rid of the guards immediately. The guards on the outside were pretty much assuming the guards on the inside could handle you guys and get you arrested and all that. But for the moment, you're free. Where do you go?
I feel like we need to swing by my house before going. I mean, should we go to the Night's Watch? Should we go to the King's place? I'm not really sure in the order of things. I think I want to go home first. Say hi to people in case we're like actually incarcerated for a little bit.
Hadrian is casually still on fire for the next 10 minutes.
I mean, it's not the most incognito thing.
Casually still on fire, Blackwater. Okay. The two of you make your way across the city over to the wealthier side of town. And then to the wealthy part of town. And there you see, you find yourselves strangely unmolested as you make your way through town. It feels like, this is a fairly bustling town and there's sort of nobody walking around, and the few people you do see walking around are moving very quickly from building to building. And at one point, you hear far in advance a group of guards moving through the city, just a block to the side. And you make yourselves a little scarce and hide from them so you don't cross their path. And then this actually happens again. As you're going through the nice part of town, you see another group of guards walking together, about 6 or 7 of them. They seem to be patrolling. You get the vague sense of some sort of curfew. And you make your way to the Ashin homestead. How are you approaching?
Well, straight to the front door has worked for us so far, so why would it stop working now?
Okay. So you walk in through the gate and approach the front door. Do you just try to open it? Are you knocking?
No, I'm just going to walk right in.
You try to walk in, the door's locked.
Has Has the lock changed since we left?
Well, there's no lock.
It's just barred?
Yeah, I mean, why have locks, like a physical lock, when you have servants?
Oh. Can I mage hand it without having visual sight?
You could try.
You could also do unseen servant, who kind of
True.
has a brain.
Yeah, just go through this door and open it.
That can't be like a way to get through doors. There's got to be a reason. 'Cause why would people not just do that every fucking time?
Poor Vox Machina, foiled by doors, could have used unseen servant the whole time.
Like, I swear.
I mean, I can just knock.
Huh.
Would the knock spell unbar the door? It works on locks, but bars.
Pick your poison, how you want to get in.
Unseen servant sounds fun.
All right, so you create an unseen servant, and you see the door, whoop, just open. I can't do door noises.
It was a pretty good door noise.
I'm just going to do a quack every time. Quack. Kick the duck out of the way, blocking the door. And you walk in and watch as a servant obviously heard the door open and terrified comes running towards you and then sees that it's Chaz. And I mean, this is one of the servants that you've had for a long time. She looks at you. Chaz, you're back.
Yes. Consuela, I'm back.
Your mother's resting, but your father's in his study. If you want to see him, if you want to not.
I'll see him. I like to see my mom first. How is she doing?
You should go see your mother. She's okay. She's sleeping, but you should go see her. I'll distract your father so that he doesn't hear the noises.
Well, much appreciated.
You're always such a good boy, and she goes and just like smacks you on the face, like pats you on the face a little bit. And then goes walking in, and you hear from a distance, Atticus, are you seeing this, sir? You know, and stop hearing as he closes the door, but very loudly getting your father's attention. And you see the stair. There's you got the whole like two dual curving staircases up to a like a raised hallway above on the second floor, which is where the master bedroom is. And you go up the stairs, and you walk over down on the left all the way to the end of the hall where the master bedroom is, and the door's closed. You see very faint light flickering from beneath it, and you hear some footsteps on the other side of the door.
I'll give it a soft knock and then wait like a little bit.
All right, so you give it a soft knock, and after just a few moments, you hear the footsteps come towards you, and another servant opens the door, and just a crack, and looks kind of like a little bit of a accusing look of "don't you're disrupting," and then sees it's you, and "Oh, come in," and opens the door, and shouldn't wake your mother, but I think she'd want to see you. And the servant goes over and kind of like taps on the bed where you see your mother lying, curled up a little bit, facing one direction. There's a single candle lit on the nightstand, and you see that the servant had been adjusting blankets, and there's like a hot bladder at your mother's feet, like underneath the blanket, and there's a very faint fire that's blocked off a bit on the other side of the room. She goes over and shakes, and your mother you see her shake her head a little bit, and she opens her eyes and looks over at you, and she looks really tired. Chaz, is that you? She sits up a bit.
Yes, mother, it's me. I'm back. How does she look?
Very thin.
Worse than the last time?
Yeah, worse than last time. She looks a lot older than just a few months would have indicated. You don't notice anything like particularly wrong. Like she clearly doesn't have like TB or any of the like consumption, or is that TB? Like any of the normal diseases of the age before modern medicine. She just kind of looks like she's not eating, or you're not quite sure. But, not coughing blood, not like vomiting. You don't get any of that smell of sickness.
Gotcha.
That's non-magical, not like rolling a medicine check.
Yeah.
If you want to do any of that, that's the second thing.
How are you feeling? You look weak. What's going on?
Tired. I've been so tired.
I look over my shoulder to Hadrian and be like, just like mouth the word good berries to him.
Yeah. Subtly create some. And I found these interesting berries recently. You should give them a try. They're delicious.
She looks over at you, Chaz.
This is my friend Hadrian.
It's good to meet you, Hadrian. I think I've seen you before. Night's Watch. Never been introduced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pleasure.
My apologies. My pleasure.
She like pulls herself together just a bit. You can see the like wealthy political woman shine out of it. And she kind of reaches out for the berries and looks over at you, Charles, with a very questioning look. Like what?
Just eat them. I'll take one and eat it.
She sits there and she eats one and kind of swallows it and looks over and so what, are you back for good? For a while?
We will see. There's a lot that needs to be made right.
There is a warrant out for your arrest here. You know that.
Yeah, I mean that's
only so much we can do.
We're gonna make it.
We didn't have any trouble getting in the city.
She thinks for a second. I guess not. But
It's
how? Every guard knows your face.
A lot of things have changed.
We just explained. We just explained the situation. They were totally fine with it.
Are you gonna put this witchcraft nonsense behind you? Whatever all their claims. And you see as she's saying this, like a little bit of energy comes back into her, and she reaches out and picks up another good berry and eats it. This nonsense about you being witches.
Yeah, it's there's a lot for us to catch up on. I just want to see you before we go and talk to some people and make this all right. But I'll be back. We'll be back soon. I just gotta, have some meetings and just straighten this all out and go in to give her a hug and cast Cure Wounds without her noticing it.
Okay. So you go give her a hug, and you have noticed as you have this conversation, she's perked up. You're not sure if it's quite your presence, if it's what it is, but as you cast Cure Wounds, you feel what was an extremely weak hug become just a little stronger. And she gasps for a moment and steps back and looks at you. Just not accusatory, but somewhere between questioning and accusatory.
I love you, and I want you to feel better. So can you do that for me?
She reaches out and she like takes the rest of the good berries into her hand. And starts eating them. I don't know what you just did, but you should go see your father. Thank you.
Has he been in a weird mood as of late?
You know your father.
Yeah.
What kind of question is that?
Why is this? Do you know why the city is locked down? They've closed the gates.
It's all about all this nonsense going on up north. The city is worried about more witches coming into the city. All these new witches that are starting to pop up. Northerners don't know reason and science. Follow this nonsense.
I see. Good to know. We should probably go now. Let you get your rest, but I'll be back soon.
Please do. Don't leave for so long again without coming to say goodbye.
I'll do my best.
But you make your way out.
Yeah.
You going down to your father's office?
Adrian, this meeting with my dad. Okay, it's so hard to even call him that now. It can go. This could probably be real bad. So I don't know if we want to skip this.
What? And you're just not going to say anything to your father?
Yeah. It may be. I just don't know how he's going to react.
I mean, I thought you wanted to talk to him about his previous knowledge about the Viri.
I do. I'm just scared. If he had previous knowledge, he might. Who knows what other tricks he has up his sleeves? For all I know.
It seems like we should probably find out before the panic in the city goes farther with all this witchcraft stuff.
All right, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it. Plus, with me there, he'll have to be like a little bit civil. He doesn't want to look bad. That type of thing.
We'll
Break
see.
up in a restaurant. They can't, create a scene. It's a whole.
Yeah. Besides, if he does, I'll just light him on fire.
Oh,
Maybe I've been hanging out with Vaso too much.
it may be the case that needs to happen, but if it comes down to it, let me do it.
All right.
And we'll head down.
You head down over to the office, and as you approach, you hear the same muffled, loud speaking of, the sort of thing you sent in there that I refuse to call Consuela. And
Svetlana?
sure. Okay. So you walk in. Are you knocking? Are you just going in? What is your approach?
Just gonna walk in.
Kicking the door open?
No, just
Plowing in.
normal people walking in.
Normal walk in? Just open door. No.
Yes, who's back again?
Are you just thaumaturgy some music in the background as you walk in?
No.
Close your face, you're
A little bit more subtle, a little more subtle than that.
all right. So you walk in and you see that Svetlana, are we calling her? You're sitting there with
It's your world.
with one of your father's shirts over her arm and looking at your father admonishingly. What? And look what I have to do with these stitches. You got to take more care of your clothes. And she looks over at you, and because she sees you first, and you watch your father notice that she's looking off to the side, and he looks over at you, and he looks over at Svetlana. You should leave now. Yes, sir. And she goes out, walking past you, and she just gives you a wink, and walks out the door. Your dad. You see his hand sort of shake as he reaches over for a tumbler and the bottle of whiskey that he always has and pours them out for himself. You're still alive.
Hello, Atticus.
Are you alive or am I losing my mind?
I'm not entirely sure. It's probably both.
No one's ever lived more than a few days.
Wait, what?
With this witchcraft nonsense you've got yourself into.
It's interesting that you're so accusatory of that. And I whip out the Medallion of Luck.
Oh, my grandfather's coin. Where did you find this? And he reaches out. Where did you find this?
In the courtyard. You know what it is? So-called witchcraft.
It's just a lucky coin. Superstition, you know. Our family's always been fortunate.
It has one charge, right?
Yeah.
You're on mute, Tyler.
So I can't flip it 50 times and it'll always come up heads. How do I prove that it's magic?
I'll give you fairly full discretion on how you want to use the luck. You know, it's not one to just be like you get to re-roll.
Can I flip it up in the air and just have it land on its side on the desk, like on the narrow side?
Yeah. All right, so you flick it, and it lands. And he's like, yeah. I always wondered how you can make it, how it just does that. Magic, or it's a lucky coin, you know, it's our family heirloom. And you see there's a little bit of a glow over his face. I've seen this lost heirloom from his grandmother. But he shakes himself a bit. It's just weighted somehow or something. I don't know.
Okay. Listen, we're going to cut to the chase here. Witchcraft, not really a thing. Magic, definitely a thing.
It's the same, 2 words for the same thing. Messing with dark forces that will only lead to your death.
I mean, or life. It's got life powers too, but we don't need to debate the merits of it.
So there's 2 of you.
Yeah.
Last time you came, there was 5 of you. How many of them are still alive?
3? 3/5?
He takes a smug sip.
Well, I mean...
Jason, Vinovi, Gavin. Well, Jason is...
it was Vinovi, Gavin, Mark, and then you 2.
Oh, wait, Vinovi's still alive, so 4. I assume we just haven't seen her in a while. But, I mean...
Who knew a loose thread?
Good. With everything, there's good and there's bad. There's a light side and a dark side, you might say. And that's neither here nor there. What I know now for a fact that there was a cover-up involving the death of my brother. What I need to know from you, and I need you to tell me the absolute truth, were you involved in that cover-up?
Of course. Had to protect our name.
Why would you do something like that?
To protect you and your mother. And our name. The Yashin name means something here. Can't lose that because of witchcraft.
He could have still been alive.
No one's ever lived more than a few days.
How many more people have this happened to?
You see him look around. Some have been swept under the rug a little more successful than others, but a few dozen maybe.
And
If not, maybe 100 over the past 200 years. It's been going on as long as we've had a Night's Watch.
is it someone doing it, or does it just happen? What?
I don't know. Every once in a while, Night's Watchman goes out into the desert, goes out into the Nightlands, and comes back. Their mind gone, ability, casting, doing this witchcraft stuff that you've gotten yourself into. They go crazy, and they all die. Sometime in hours, never more than a few days. All of them. Except now you, I guess. Looks over at Hadrian and you.
Also, several that I don't know if you've heard the reports, but there are many people on the northern coast that are developing these powers now. They're fine.
For now.
It's been a few weeks.
It's been happening for hundreds of years, and it's never been fine. You have a few weeks on your side.
Well, we've had it for how the fuck long have we had it?
Months?
A few months, 3 months, I think now. 3 or 4.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have it hit written here somewhere, but I think it's like 3 or 4 months.
Major events have happened in Treviri that changed the whole face of the continent and every geopolitical relationship within it. Complete paradigm shift. What we're talking about here is Bonnell is going to fall behind the other countries because we're furthest away from the storm.
Now you're not making any sense.
Yeah, I know. It's not important. Here's what we're going to do here. We're going to go to the Night's Watch, to the judiciary. What do we need to do to just get our names cleared, get our freedom back? This whole ban on us, arrest warrant nonsense. Let's get that done. Let's get that replaced. And then we need to be honest with the people of the city. We need to let them know what's going on and to accept it and to come clean about what's happening in the Night's Watch, because this lack of transparency is just, it leads to all kinds of corruption.
It's late. You can stay here for the night. We'll talk about this in the morning. And Chaz, I'm glad to see that you're alive. Now it's late. We'll talk about this in the morning. Go see your brothers. They miss you terribly. And that's where we're going to take a 5. Unless you had something like you looked like you were about to. Okay. Yeah, let's take a 5. Come back. We'll resume from here. All right. So you just had that encounter with Chaz's father, Atticus Asheen, and agreed to sort of just get some rest and come at this in the next morning. There was some pushing to go, like say hi to your brothers or anything. We can RP that, or if you want to just kind of skip ahead.
Just skip it.
All right.
But I'll do it, but we'll skip it.
Yeah. So you go and you spend some time with your brothers. You introduce them to Hadrian, kind of catch up on some stuff. You do the the normal brother, give each other shit, telling stories, braggart kind of thing. You're all fairly close enough in age that,
I think I win all of the best story contests.
Oh yeah. They don't quite believe you for most of them. Because, obviously, they're all a little fantastic. So the next morning comes, and you go down and
Overnight, I would like to, if I can, present it as like a clockwork tabby cat. Like the crest, I don't want to be like big and scary, but like tabby cat, recognizable from the crest.
yeah.
And I would like to go to the mother's room.
Okay. It's just her. It's kind of late at night, and she's sleeping. There's a very, very low fire going on in the corner, but that's about it. Very low light.
I'm gonna jump up on her and like do heat and pressure like a cat laying on her.
Okay. Like,
Does she wake?
yeah, she does. As you put that pressure, she rolls over a bit and looks down, opens eyes, looks at you with a very confused look, but not shock, really.
She's not afraid of me.
No. Roll an insight real quick.
No, I have sex.
Chaz, you can roll an insight as well, like after the fact. Like you would have seen this before. Well,
So do I still need to roll insight?
yeah. But if you fail it, well, I still want to know. What?
11.
Humans are weird.
They are weird.
Yeah, Chaz, can you roll just an insight for me?
Sorry, I couldn't tell if it was a 6 or 9. 15.
You get the idea that a lot of what was going on with your mom was sort of in her head more than anything, and that she was kind of not really all there as much.
Right.
So okay. Anyway, so she looks down at you and sees the clockwork cat and a little confused, a little concerned, but not like jumping up out of her bed like, oh my god. Just looks. She reaches out a hand to like go down to pet you or like kind of touch your ears and stuff. Just like passes through.
I'm gonna try and like be as corporeal as I can be. Like I realize I'm not actually, but I can like mage hand pressure against her where she would touch as best I can. I realize that's like a weird thing.
Yeah, so she like goes out and like touches the ear, and you see like there's a little bit of resistance, and she kind of can follow the form a bit, but her finger still kind of goes into the image, and she just pets a little bit. Just looks very confused. Well, hello there. Who are you? Cute little thing. She's like scratches underneath the chin.
Why are you so sad?
At that, she does actually like jump up and take her hand back when you talk. I lost a son. She starts petting again. Almost lost another. He came back today though. And you see a big smile on her face. She keeps petting.
Will you be all right?
Oh, yes. I may not have been born in a sheen, but I am one. And the sheens are always all right. She just keeps petting. Big smile.
Is that all right though?
Sorry, what?
Is that all right though?
Eventually. Maybe not now, but it will be.
Will you wait?
I still feel very tired. But eventually, yes.
Will you wait for eventually?
I have my son back. One of them. I think things are going to get better. I'll wait. And who knows what sort of trouble Brooks and Grant will get into if I keep cooped up in here.
The world exists beyond your grief. Your sons love you, and they need you.
These hallucinations are not always so wise. I must be growing wiser with my age. And she chuckles to herself. Will you stay with me, though? Just for a bit, while I sleep. You're very warm.
I will stay for a little while. But I must go.
Okay. Well, I must get some sleep. I'm very tired. Thank you. Kind of chuckles to herself again. And there's one last Goodberry that was sitting on her desk, and she, pops it and lays back down and kind of settles in, pulls the blanket up, looks over at you one more time, sitting on her, and closes her eyes and starts drifting off to sleep.
Can I tell when she falls asleep?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works on that, but
I mean, her breathing gets slower, her temperature goes down, all the normal things.
Then I think it's prestidigitation that will heat something for an hour. I want to heat her blanket. I do not want to set her on fire. Not a thing I want to do. So if I can't do this without doing that, then forget it.
No, you can just heat the blanket a little bit. Yeah.
Cute.
Then does she have like a journal or a book or something on her table?
No, but there's a little journal underneath her bed.
What is the cover made of?
Leather. It's just plain.
Can I leave a burnt paw print on the front?
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm going to go. I'm going to disappear and leave.
All right. Okay.
Can I then do the same thing at the father's?
Yeah, so he has a cot set up in his office that it's a very, very fancy, small bed,
Rich person.
Yeah. So he's sleeping in that. You see the bottle of whiskey beneath the bed, significantly farther down than when you left him, or when Chaz and Hadrian went upstairs. And he's sleeping, but sort of tossing and turning a bit, and you see his eye, his eyes moving a lot beneath his eyelids.
I want to do the same thing where there's the heat and the pressure of.
Okay. He doesn't wake up immediately. He kind of keeps tossing and turning a bit. You just want to wait? Or do you want to...
I want to heat up maybe a little more than the average house cat, but not enough to really just to see if that will wake him up.
Okay. You do that and you slowly increase for a little bit, just bit by bit. And a few minutes go by and eventually he calms down a bit and his eyes stop moving as much, and he shakes a bit and opens one eye and looks down and jumps a little bit out of bed, sits up real quick and pushes himself back. And just you see him reach for his head a bit and look down. Chaz?
Are you well?
Apparently not. Chaz? He looks around a bit. This isn't funny, Chaz. He's like not looking at you, he's looking around. What are you?
I am myself. But the question is, what are you?
I'm an Ashin. He kind of squares his shoulders a bit. Holds his head up.
It seems to me that to be an Ashin is not what it once was. Have you failed?
Of course, I am a man. But he sits up, like fully sits up now and kind of pulls the blanket off and looks down at you. I've never seen or heard of anything quite like this. It's curious. He gets a very hostile.
There are many things in the world now that you have never seen or heard of before.
He gets a very hostile look on his face. Is all this your fault? You do this to my son? And he he starts reaching back behind the bed into the nightstand.
I think you will find that your son made his own choices. All of them have. But then so have you.
You hear like the scraping of metal as he pulls out a dagger and just kind of holds it just a little bit, but behind him. I've made my choices. Charles was barely an adult when he made his. Just trying to protect him. If you did this, you better be gone now.
I will go invisible, but continue to speak to him and say, do you regret your choices? There's time to do better. There is the need for better.
I don't have time for regrets. They cost too much.
And doing better? Do you have time for that?
He brushes the blanket aside and gets up and there's the tumbler of whiskey by his night table where he pulled the dagger from, still has about half a thing of whiskey, and he takes it back. And he faces away from you and goes over. There's a bookshelf. And he starts just kind of like poking through the books. And he pulls out one. It's has no title on the back and on the spine. Takes it out and throws it onto his desk. This is the legacy of my father. Goes, searches over to the next one, pulls out another book. This one, all the same kind of color red. He throws it out, and as you see it, you notice it has in gold the like same crest on it. This is the legacy of my grandfather. And he goes, pulls over, and on that one pulls over. And his father before him, and does this. They all made mistakes. We've all gotten better. Each of us, we learned from our fathers. I only want the chance to learn from me. I'm stuck in many of my mistakes. But our name continues. Chaz need not make the mistakes that I have.
I'm going to appear as a tabby clock on top of all of the books
Mm-hmm.
and say, "And what of your legacy? You speak so proudly of your forefathers' achievements, but what I see before me is a wretch of a man who fails to see his own mistakes, to regret them, to improve upon them, to do better, to bring the Asheen name back to what it once was. Your son's choices won't matter if you ruin the name before then." Then I'm going to burn the whiskey in the bottle,
Okay.
disappear.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see how he reacts, but I'm pretty much done here. So,
He looks forlornly at the bottle of whiskey, but collapses back into his chair and then picks up the book from his great-grandfather and just starts kind of paging through it. But after a few minutes, he, like, you see it, he starts nodding off and puts it aside, goes back to the bed, and goes back to sleep.
reading the book, how did he seem?
Stressed, angry, confused, whole hungover, still a little drunk, a whole mix of things. Very few of them positive. And none of them positive. The drunkenness a little bit, but okay. So the next morning, Chaz, you slept in your room. You pulled out a cot for Adrian, and you wake up and
A cot? Don't they have like 14 bedrooms?
oh, it's a rich person cot. Or I guess you could have there's another bedroom if you want it.
God, I don't want to sleep next to that asshole. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Chaz, you wake up to hear a bunch of pots banging around downstairs, pots and pans, and you smell some food, and you hear your mother whistling happily. Tongs used to whistle, just kind of walking around. And you and Hadrian make your way down to the kitchen, and you see that some of the servants are there cooking up breakfast, and your mother is there just mixing together some like morning non-alcoholic drinks, but like, you know, and then one with some like a Bloody Mary with some alcohol in it, and she kind of sets that aside, but the rest is just. And as you walk in, she hears you coming and turns around, and you see she looks a lot better. She's like standing up, like her posture is a lot better from even when you saw her the last time you were in town. Her face, it has like before it was, I don't really know how to describe it, but like, you know, real tight, like there wasn't a lot of meat on her bones, but it even just a night, it seems to have fleshed out, which seems a little strange, but yeah, magic. And just has some energy to her. And she looks over at you and just smiles. Breakfast will be ready in a minute. And she looks over the servants and with just like a little bit of that like get shit done look, you know, that you remember, and that they kind of like and start like cooking faster somehow. I don't know. And looks back at you with just like a fully pleasant smile and sets out some drinks along the table. In the kitchen, of course, because nobody's in the dining room.
They're whisking up the hollandaise faster. That's what you're trying to say. They're just beating that whisk real hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hadrian, eggs Benedict, bananas pancakes.
Bananas pancakes.
Eggs Benedict, bananas pancakes. What's your poison?
Oh, just whatever you're already cooking. Doesn't matter.
Eggs Benedict.
All right, and you guys have a breakfast, and mom tells us.
It's the ritziest breakfast food I could have thought of.
Yeah. Mom tells a few stories, but they're all kind of like secondhand stories of just little things going on around town, and you get the impression that none of them were really directly seen or heard from by her. She seems to have been kind of cooped up, and people come to her and have been telling her stories of what's going on. Avoiding anything even remotely bad. It's mostly like, oh, weddings and slight drama, and like, oh, look who's, getting into trouble again, that kind of stuff.
Smile and nod stuff.
And about half an hour into this, your father comes in. He clearly has a hangover and is hiding it to the best of his abilities. And he goes to pick up like the remaining drink, and you watch your mother just give him the fucking dirtiest look, like stank eyes, just for a moment. And he sits down silently and starts eating.
Do I get the feeling that like there's something more to it than just like the
nothing deeper? You don't get the impression that it's anything deeper than like, the witchcraft thing and you being gone and the death of your brother and like all the kind of drama there, and like, I mean, let's be honest, your parents didn't get married because they fell in love.
Yeah. Okay. Just me. All right. Father, we're gonna need to.
I already set up. We're going down. We are going to talk. I wanted to talk with the magistrate, but we are going to actually speak with the king later. So put on your best.
Hadrian, do you need clothes? Do you have anything nicer than that?
I mean, disguise self.
In front of everybody?
You watch it as like it's just like.
And I'm gonna be wearing the exact same clothes as Chaz.
And yeah, Chaz, you see the exact same clothes.
You look good.
And you hear the whole like chair scraping backwards on the wood thing, and you look at your mother just has backed away from the table and is looking at Hadrian, and she reaches over and like kind of like touches you on the shoulder, Chaz.
Yeah, it's
I know it's too much, isn't it?
Well, no, you look good. I'm just it's a lot to take in.
Your mother picks up her drink, goes over to like the liquor cabinet and pours some liquor in it, and then comes back and just keeps drinking it. So it's true.
Well, we don't know all the stories, so I don't want to say that they're true. But basically,
my own son, witchcraft?
No, I don't like the term. The Viri are still alive. God damn it, dog. The Viri are still alive, and they have, let's say, certain technologies that Hadrian and myself, and now an increasing amount of other people, are obtaining access to.
Technology?
Yes. Ethereal technology.
We make the most advanced technology we know of, and I can't even explain what just happened.
This is leaps and bounds beyond anything our family has ever conceived. And there's going to be an opportunity for us to take advantage of that in the business realm, but that's kind of down the road after we speak with the king.
Atticus, can you believe this? And he kind of just takes another sip of his drink and does not make eye contact with your mother. You can both do this.
Yes, of course.
So you did heal me. Last night, the hug.
The power of love. But also, yes,
He gets a big smile. We can make a lot of money off of this. And your father just like slams his glass down and gets up and leaves.
Oh God.
There's a big smile and looks over you.
Chaz, you should suggest he stays.
Tyler wants to. Chaz doesn't know if it's a good idea.
The kitchen has one of those like flappy door things. Like it's not like the half ones, it's the full ones. And he goes pushing through it, and it goes,
Naturally, it's the sitcom kitchen.
Point of interest: in your dream, where you saw your brother and Eris come out through the door, it's that door that he walked through. You don't get the impression that it's relevant, but I'm just trying to anchor.
Okay. I'm just wondering if you're trying to lead me down a path here, all of a sudden.
No.
All right, okay.
Just
yes. Mother, is he ever gonna come around to this? This is the future we're talking about.
Oh, you know your father. Mulish at best. I'll talk to him.
Yes, if you do that, I think it is probably best that you mention it. It is not just us now, as Chaz mentioned. It's many people along the northern coast. This problem is not going to go away.
Is this true, Chaz?
Quite possibly. Unfortunately, we're not sure if this is a good thing necessarily. It's going to be a mixed bag, I think. But yes, there's more and more people are able to access this stuff. So,
but you had it first.
Well,
anybody else can do this like you?
Not as much.
Well, Gavin stayed home, but
oh yes,
he's about where we are at. And then Viria, of course, can do all kinds of. Who knows? We haven't even scratched the surface of what they can fully do.
Well, I'm happy to have you back. You are staying, right? Please tell me you're not leaving again. Your father needs you.
Yeah, I'm staying for a little bit. Trying to make sure this whole everybody's doing magic stuff doesn't get chaotic and cause civil wars or anything like that. Actually, it's looking like we might be able to stop one. So, good stuff all around so far, mostly.
I think we'll need the whole family together here to fix this city. At least for a little while.
It's going to take a lot of work.
I whisper to Chaz. I can't stay that long.
I'll reply and say, I know.
Okay.
I don't expect you to.
Oh, well, you have a meeting with the king. Oh, it's so rare that even we get meetings with him. I would say get yourselves dressed up, but you can do that. He looks over you, Adrian. Can you do that again? Do something strange.
What would you like to see? Wait, what? Oh,
Surprise me.
I would like to change myself to look basically like Jack Sparrow, eccentric pirate.
Ooh. Just kind of smiles and like claps a little bit. That is exciting.
Thank you.
Wait, that's nothing. I can listen, and I turn invisible.
Invisible.
And she reaches out and like kind of taps you on the shoulder, right? Because she saw where you were. That
Way cooler than a pirate.
that is pretty cool, Chaz. Can other people learn this? Father, perhaps?
We're not sure how people are getting it. If it's
Perhaps if you traveled to the north.
Your father in the north.
I mean, that would be the probably only way that would happen.
Yeah.
If we can even make it happen.
But down here, I this far south, I don't think so.
But I'll be on your way. You must. I'll go get your father.
Okay.
And she goes off after him and has the bit of the proud, excellent posture woman that you remember from your childhood. And you hear some muffled, not yelling, but strong reprimanding. And a few moments later, your father comes out. Dressed in his like normal, like I'm gonna go see the king clothing, but he still clearly has the hangover.
Hadrian still looks like a pirate.
We're gonna go see the king. If you're gonna come, you're not coming looking like that.
Oh, yes, my mistake. I changed myself to be like a clone of Chaz. Like face and everything, yes.
Not.
Oh, my mistake. And then now I've only copied his clothes, and it's
Okay.
Hadrian again.
Okay, that's better. Let's go. There was one more thing that I wanted to go through. Kind of hopping out for a moment. I know Hadrian, or you talked about Hadrian wanting to go explore the continent. That part of some of that might be kind of need to be real time, and I want to try and get to that in like the last 20 minutes. But we're gonna try around stuff here.
Okay.
I mean, we could either torpedo through this, or we could just jump to something else and time jump back.
No, that's fine. I was just like, we will. Like, we wanted to get to that. We'll cover that, but it shouldn't actually take too long. So you make your way through the city, dressed up. You guys have your horses. There's a guard, kind of like what you're used to, what you've grown used to in Treviri with, Arnie's guards walking around. And the palace is not that far from the Yavin home by design. Then you make your way there, and there's a whole like big show procession to go into the palace, and there's a big open audience chamber. No like trumpets or anything, but lots of guards, and there's like the standing at attention and the dramatic doors. And you go in. The king's not in his like sitting in his throne to take an audience, but there's a room off to the side. You have actually tagged along with your father a couple times, Chaz, when speak to the king. There's a side room where there's kind of the more smaller, intimate meeting. And you walk in, and you see the fairly young king, not as old as your father, probably like late 40s, very, very handsome man, dressed up perfectly. Of course, he has this beautiful chamber where he has this nice high back chair and then a couple benches around, and he's just like reading through a book. A large book, clearly not like a novel, and ignores you as you come in. You guys sit down and just wait for a few moments, and he makes some notation in the book, closes it, sets it down, rings a little bell, and then looks over at you. Looks over at your father, kind of judging for a moment. So you want the charges of witchcraft dropped?
Well, I mean, we want their arrest warrants.
I wasn't asking you.
Oh,
Atticus called for the charges to be dropped. Based on what? Can you prove their innocence? And Atticus sits. Why, the contrary. I am putting forth that this is not the dark witchcraft of the past, but tool of the future. Jaws, show him something not dangerous.
I change into a pirate.
The king steps back. You hear the chair flies back and hits the wall. And he's standing there, staring at you, Adrian. Now that is something I've never seen before. Can you do this too, Chaz?
yes, I turned into the exact same pirate.
Hang on now. I turn into the king.
Oh no, bad choices. Adrian, worry, not good.
Oh, and then Chaz, I see Chaz saying that, and I just drop it and revert to normal Hadrian.
That imitating the king, that is treason. But
What?
How
I didn't imitate the king.
these powers seem dangerous. Abilities. You could masquerade as anybody. As me.
It's no different than anything else. You know, a knife can be a good tool in the kitchen, or you can stab someone with it.
Knives don't kill people, people kill people. And just like the tool that the knife is, can be used for good.
Yes, actually, that brings up another point. Sir, do you have any aches or pains or ailments?
Of course not. I'm in impeccable health.
Oh, well, that's too bad, because I could heal them for you.
You can heal too?
Yes, of course.
At just a few moments later, there's what you thought was just a wall, turns out to be a door, opens, and a servant just creeps in quietly, grabs the book off of the table that he had written in, and then walks away. But as they're walking away, he grabs them. Wasn't one of you injured, broken arm or something? And the servant just looks terrified. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go fetch them, whoever they were. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they go running off, terrified. And he kind of just sits down, and for you, so you can heal, disguise yourself. Where did you? How?
It is very technology.
Do I have to worry about others coming into my city with these abilities? This is dangerous.
Probably. There are many in the north that are gaining these abilities. It will only increase with time.
That cannot be allowed.
Let us suggest maybe a different approach. Embrace the change. Else, Bono is going to be left in a technological stone age. We've led Pollinia technologically for countless generations. We will fall behind. We'll become irrelevant. We will lose our footing.
Risk. People can come in here and look like anyone they choose to. That's and
With
do
all due
more,
respect,
apparently.
I don't see how you could stop it. As you said, anyone could walk through the gates looking like someone else. How would you know?
If someone is caught practicing witchcraft, we exile them. If they come back in, we hang them.
It's going to be difficult to do that without access to this technology yourselves.
Difficult. It being difficult means it's not right.
No, I mean impossible.
He sits and he thinks for a moment. And the door opens again, and you see 3 servants come in, one of whom has their arm in a sling. And he looks over them. Looks over you. Heal her.
Come here.
He walks
Set a
up
hand on.
anxiously and holds out her arm.
Cure wounds and whatnot.
It goes. It clearly had not been set properly, so you hear like a little bit of crunching as it pops back into place. Looks down at it. Pokes it a couple times. The king looks over. Show me. She comes over and puts her arm out in front of the king, and he, kind of pokes it a few times along the arm. Interesting. There's a hospital a couple streets away. Go there, heal people, spend the day doing this, and I will drop the charges. If anyone uses magic for harm of any sort, punishment is execution. Cannot be any more lenient than that.
I think that is reasonable, but I think you will see that there can be good uses for this. In Treviri, there's a group of they've sort of set up as a school, and that this is exactly what they do. They heal sick folks, and they
We will
teach
have
them.
no school of witchcraft here.
What about wizardry?
Zing!
Sorry.
No, that's what I was going for. I appreciate it. But till it becomes a problem, you don't have to make people a criminal for not doing any harm. I don't like it. The people are not going to like it. I'm educated. I understand the plight of humanity. Out of the most people here, they will just get angry and scared. They don't have guards. They're the ones you're gonna have to contend with.
If I might make a suggestion, perhaps if you came with us to the hospital and made a show that you encourage
No,
positive use.
sorry.
What if we pretended like you were doing it? You could take the credit.
Absolutely not. I will not be associated with this myself. Just because I will not execute you for using it doesn't mean I want to be associated with it.
As you wish.
Your Eminence, this is a dangerous path to take Bonnell down.
You dare assert to me that you know better how to run this country?
Was that cough in character?
No.
Okay.
That was me not being able to drink.
Solid. Was that cough? Well, I know that a wise king takes counsel from others, and
I take counsel from whom I choose.
yeah, I'm just.
You may earn a place, time, prove yourself.
I love this.
Looks
city.
over at your father, and your father just smacks you across the head.
Can I catch his hand with Mage Hand?
Only if he's swinging with less than 5 pounds of force.
Roll a strength check.
No bad, no.
You have your luck.
It's just plain strength check.
Yeah.
10. The first one was a 2.
You see his hand get slowed a little bit, but it still smacks you across the head. I am sorry, Your Majesty. We will be leaving now. We appreciate your wisdom and your grace in this matter. And he takes a bow. And he looks at you, just daggers. Yes, Basso?
Are there doors?
What?
Are there doors through which we were meant to exit?
Yes.
And through which he enters, the king person? I assume he has like his own private door.
Oh, yeah. You did see the one door that was very well hidden as a wall. And you just got given up one. There's probably more.
I would like to set them both on fire and appear as my hellhound form. And rather than speak aloud, I would like to message everyone in the room. Kind of like vicious mockery style. Not like full on damage, but like this could hurt if I wanted it to.
Okay. So this is mockery, but pulling your punches a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's call it that. The theory of less watchers. And we are disappointed with the grasping nature we find.
He looks over at two of you. This is what I cannot have in my city.
It is not for you to decide. The world is changing, and you will change with it, or you will fall. Choose now. Will you be the king that leads the people in a new era, or will you cost them everything?
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
I figured, do I have my proficiency modifier?
And your charisma. Yeah.
18.
He looks over at Chas and Hadrian. I will think on your suggestion. Now, stop these fires. Leave my presence.
Do I have anything that can put out a fire?
Create water on the door. 10 gallons of water just on the door.
Okay, so you hit it with great water, and the flames are doused. There's clear, just.
I will. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I will go invisible again, but do the same vicious mockery style message of that. Just because he cannot see us does not mean we don't see him and his choices. We'll be watching carefully.
You see all of you see this, just the slightest shake to his hand and a little bit of fear in his eyes. Like actual fear, not just the whole intimidation, but he's been a king this entire time. You see a man for a moment, and your father, Atticus, steps up and leads you out at that point. And Jakey appears, and he takes you to the hospital down the street and starts leading in that direction. Are you gonna go and?
Yeah.
With the understanding that Gavin gets his charges chopped as well.
His what?
Yeah.
Gavin gets charges as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the hospital and you go around and heal people. At first, there's a fair amount of hesitation, and only people who are really poorly off even near them with magic. But as you start going through and people start seeing this effects, they are more accepting. And you go through and you heal a lot. And your father stays with you. He always stays a few steps behind and just sort of watches. And at the end of the day, you don't notice anything concrete that changes, but you do sense a bit more warmth from him. A little less hostility. You feel like you've started on the road towards changing his mind by showing what good you can do. And you suspect that with the time to think, he has also started pondering your mother's insight that.
Okay, nice.
Okay. So, Hadrian, how long are you going to stay in Bonnell?
I would give Chaz up to a week, maybe 2 if he was really annoying about it. Chaz, how annoying are you about it?
About staying here?
Yes.
How is one annoying about staying in a place? Are you bugging me about leaving?
I've indicated that I feel the need to get back. Come on, Chaz, just have your fiance come with us. It'll be fine.
True. At some point, I would want to grab Felicity.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do our own.
Yeah. Thought that needs to be done here. I guess I could go back. I wonder if we could. Just make a whole bunch of good berries to keep at the house for my mom. They only last long.
Good berries too.
What?
You can make good berries.
No,
too.
I'm just like thinking out loud in my head.
Oh, okay.
Or thinking out loud. We'll just leave some good berries for my mom, and then I'll be back. Should go back, check in Traveri, and come back and check in pretty frequently, I guess. I'm gonna have to spend some time here.
Yeah, we're not quite settled yet. I think we need to get back to Traveri, and there's a whole other continent to explore.
Yeah, it didn't go how I expected, but probably better than my expectations. So, albeit slow progress. So, instead of forcing it, we can let things happen a little bit more organically, and get everybody on our side before we go through and.
Yeah. All right. So
general.
Moving along because we're running out of time. We'll stay for like a week or two and then head back.
All right. So you stay for a week. Guys, we'll talk about the whole Felicity thing.
Yeah. I also would kind of try to set up if there's any like people who are like really getting a following, like what happened in Traveri. I would like to set up a branch of the cult.
Okay. So a few of the people in the hospital, some of their family, and some people that just like hear the stories of what happened start to come up and talk to you and ask about start to build a little bit of that. Roll a charisma check. Yeah, how successful that is.
Every night that we are there, Vaso is going to burn whiskey wherever she finds it in the dad's room. So I'm just gonna like go visit him every night. I'm not gonna make an appearance. I'm not gonna say anything. But if I see alcohol, I'm gonna set it on fire.
Okay. This clearly angers him. And on like the second or third night, once the alcohol fully burns off, he's gonna take the whiskey bottle and shatter it against the floor. Scream a little bit. Push his desk over. But you keep doing it. He doesn't get
Do I get a feel for how much he's drinking every night?
Well, none now.
Well, like trying to drink.
I mean, he seems to be drinking. He like goes for the bottle a lot. So you get the suspicion that it's a lot.
Charisma or persuasion?
Persuasion.
19.
You're able to pretty quickly gather a following. I mean, you can do fucking magic. Like, it's not hard to convince people to listen to what you say and, like, you heal them and all that. So you kind of have your whole encounter with Felicity, which, again, we'll cover because you do that by yourself. That kind of out of band. And but eventually you do make your way back to the White Squid and start sailing out. Are you heading back to Traveri, or are you heading to the other continent first?
Traveri, because we want to grab Gavin if he wants to go, because I think he wanted to go.
Okay. So you sail back up and you get up to Traveri, and even just in the like 2 weeks you've been gone between travel and all that, the city has grown a little bit, and the school is just sort of overflowing with new students. And Gavin has started using some of the money that you've gathered and some donations that are started coming in to expand the school around the square. So now another building. He help the current tenant find a new place to rent and just started building out more. So there's 2 buildings that are just classrooms. People are teaching. Winfred is now teaching some of the intro classes. The first one that came to you very quickly. He is very skilled already. And Gavin is just overjoyed to step away for a bit and go off onto the high seas and go exploring.
Cool.
So you gather together and you start sailing east. You stocked up on a lot of provisions. And you travel north a bit, catch the wind from the storm. And you, about halfway through, you start, you've been going for 2, 3, 4 days. You start to think back to all the stories of everyone who sailed never came back after about the point that you're at. But I mean, you guys are magic. You got a magic unsinkable boat. You're good.
Not to mention unlimited provisions.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh yeah, no, actually, you literally have unlimited provisions. All right, god damn it. All right, so you continue sailing, and another 2 to 3 days go by, and you start seeing ships of a strange design. Are you staying clear of the ships? Are you approaching the first one? What is your strategy here?
Let's approach them.
Are they normal wood colored?
Yeah. Just normal ships. So you approach the first one, and you, from a distance, you see that it's manned by just a bunch of people. They seem to be fishing, and as you, even from a distance, you can see that a bunch of them have stopped and are staring at your ship approaching west. And you haven't seen any ships before this, so you get the idea this is kind of sort of the outer limit of where they go. Not a hard limit, but yeah. And as you pull up closer, you get a better look at these people, and they're a little strange looking. You see that there is most of the people are very short, fairly stocky. They have thick hair and thick, all of them, every single one of them have thick beards, and they are just working tirelessly. And on the ship there are 2 people, one of whom is who is up on top, who is very tall, very pale, has long white hair going down their back, and the other one is a similar form. They're taller than you, 6.5 feet. Also almost double the size of the others that are actually working. And they
the working ones are dwarves.
I don't know what a dwarf is.
I meant meta.
Yes.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah. And the one of the ones up top, the elves, sees you and goes over and elbows his companion, and they look over at you as well. One of them raises their hand, and can't quite hear what they're shouting, but they're shouting something at you.
Yeah, hail them back, and just as we get closer, I'll greet them in common. Okay.
So you come up closer and you get you get within earshot, and a lot of the dwarves have stopped with their work and have gathered on the other side of the most of them gathered on the other side of the ship, and a few have come up to where these 2 all male are, and they all have swords with them. And as you speak out in common, they just look confused and spout nonsense back at you.
I cast comprehend languages, and then I greet them again.
Hail, stranger. You come from the west?
Wait,
Yes.
does comprehend languages allow you to speak at them or just understand what they're
No.
saying?
You can understand. It's fine. It's fine. There's a spell comprehend language. There's a it's.
But it'd be so funny if he could understand what they're saying but couldn't communicate anything back to them. I'm just messing around.
Yeah. You can definitely.
Okay.
Come from the west.
Yes. We mean you no harm.
Your appearance is strange.
We come in peace.
Your appearance is strange.
Thanks for a second. I guess it would be, would it not? I don't know what to say in a moment like this.
We are explorers. We came. We found a map that showed that there was more land than we were aware of. Would your people welcome explorers?
Not right now. Not in these times. War has just broken out among our people. It is not a good time for visitors. Unfortunately. You said you found a map?
Yes. Yes.
But where did you find such a map?
Are you familiar with the Viri?
He smiles. Of course.
Excellent. Yes, in an old Viri building, there was a map of the whole world, I believe.
The Viri left. And
We found them.
You went into their lands and
Yes.
that is blasphemy among our people. Cannot disturb the Viri.
We went there with a Viri, actually. They are not all dead, as it seems.
Well, no, they're not dead. They just left.
Yeah,
One
okay.
stayed behind.
Yeah, some are here.
Yes, we had a Viri escort.
We actually just saved all of the Viri's lives, the ones that stayed behind.
He has a big smile. Well, then you are a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And a friend of my people. But like I said, this is not a good time to approach. There's a war going on, and many will see any incoming ship as hostility.
We've been at sea for quite a long time. I mean,
We have to re-provision it at the very least.
yeah. We can fly. Do you have a truce flag? Our people would fly a white flag.
We have a similar practice. That is curious. Your ship's construction is interesting.
It's also Viri.
I like it. But yes, we have some islands out here that have some provisions. I cannot take you to the mainland, unfortunately, but we should at least have some passage there. But please fly the white flag. Follow with me. Stay close.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right. And you separate a bit and fly the white flag and sail off. Now a bit northeast. And there eventually is a small island that appears, and you see that there is actually a string of islands that stretches off into the horizon, curving a little south. And there are a few docks, and you go up, and you dock in and get off the ship, and there is a small town there. And these two gentlemen walk you through. They introduce themselves as Gemini and Rosso. And They stay very close to you, and you watch as you get off, they sort of just saunter off as if everything is fine. You watch a bunch of the dwarves run off, and they start like tying the ship down, and they run ahead and they speak with the dockmaster and get everything squared. They don't seem to even acknowledge the dwarves' existence. They walk around as if, they're just like the scenery and the furniture or whatever. And they take you to there's a little hut just right inside of the dock. They take you in, and as you walk in, everybody like looks over the door for a moment, and then half goes back to their drinks and then stops, and then everyone turns around and looks at you, and it's just silent. And Gemini reaches up his hand. They're people from the West. They're friends of the Veery. And a few, raise up their glasses. To the Veery!
To the Veery!
And
Huzzah!
And a few of them, they actually push a couple tables together and pull up some seats and come, tell us where do you come from?
Do you want to go through this? Or, yeah.
I mean, just broad strokes, like they're going to be asking about everything. Where you're from, how you got here, how you know the Veery, all that stuff.
I'd say we'll tell them the broad strokes. There's another continent with many countries. We've gone to the Veery lands. We're friends of the Veery. We have Veery technology, but not going into. I'll show them maybe like a trick.
Okay.
Or two, but not any like a cantrip or like.
Okay, you just do like a little fireball in your hand.
Yeah.
As you do this, none of them bat an eye. Gemini reaches out. Yes, you are like us, and he does the same thing.
That is very interesting.
You also bear the gift of the Veery.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Do I see any clocks?
Yeah, of course. There's a clock above the bar.
Okay. Just wondering.
Okay. It's not a machine clock.
Well, that would be fucking trippy. But, I don't know if they somehow progress this far without clocks.
It's good to see that you are more children of the Veery. This is wonderful. Not like,
Not like what?
the heathens. Those who were not blessed by the Veery. He has this big smile on his face.
Interesting. Are there more people, different types of people on your land? Like, you, no offense, but you two you seem to be very different. And I point to an elf and a dwarf.
Oh yes, that's just. You can ignore them. They are just our servants here to do our bidding.
So, like, everyone in the bar is elves?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a couple dwarves like around, not in the bar, but are like, they're physically in it, but they're not like sitting at tables drinking. They're like,
Interesting. Okay.
On what grounds are these people subservient to you?
we are superior.
I'll use the spell message to Chaz. Let's not get into it now. We can talk about it tonight. Let's figure out what we'll do.
These people they do not have the gifts of the Veery, the blessings of the Veery. They are, dumb-witted or dim-witted, and honestly, they enjoy having just a purpose in life. Serving us gives them a joy they would not otherwise know if they were off left to their own. You should have seen the state we found them in. Running around the world as if they were just animals.
Fascinating. Yes, on the continent that we live on, that everyone is like us.
That's what it was here. But we found them on a continent to the south. And
Very interesting.
brought them into the light of modern society.
I see.
But they're just simpletons. You can ignore them.
Oh.
But please, eat, drink. We must share our cultures. I do apologize again that I can't take you to the mainland, but
Yes, it is quite a shame that we've come all this way only to turn around so close.
yes, it is a shame. But you must come back at some point.
Is the war winding down by chance?
It just started, actually.
I see.
Who's the war between?
I do not want to get into politics. It would bore you. Just know it's not a good time for visitors. But we have provisions here where we can share your stories, and you can stay here for at least a few days. The war should not reach us here. But please, stay, drink, eat.
Excellent. Your
Then be on your way.
hospitality is much appreciated.
Of course.
Perhaps when you go back to the mainland, you could tell the city leaders to expect us sometime in the future.
Of course.
Excellent. Thank you.
I mean, this war should be over soon. I can't imagine it'll go on for too long. A minor kerfuffle, really, but it's right here on the coast. Bring a new friend into a war just seems like bad manners.
Well, I don't mean to press the issue, but we could sail around to the other side of the land.
It's probably best not. I'm sorry, but come back into the time, please.
I see. All right. And I guess after that we'll just kind of
Eat and drink, talk for a little while. You sleep on your ship. They have beds here available, like rooms.
Hadrian's gonna sleep on the ship.
Me too.
All right, so you head back to the ship after a night of kind of talking, and they tell stories of their grand cities and stories of heroes and their people. And
Has Vaso made herself visible?
that's a good point. Vaso would have burned out at this point. Probably actually on the way.
I think it's over by now.
I mean, it's been probably like 2 or 3 weeks since Bonnell.
So it would be
like
a new form. I assumed when you didn't say anything that you weren't like making yourself apparent to these people. But,
okay.
do you stay, or do you kind of just take provisions and head back? Like, what are your?
I don't know. Let's.
Any kind of trade goods or something that's unique that we can bring back as proof.
You find a bunch of they have crates of strange fruits, but you also notice a lot of the same fruits and vegetables that you find in your continent. There are some strange salted meats that they claim is from a bird the size of a human, which just seems ridiculous. And some interesting fabrics that are very like smooth, and they feel almost wet all the time. Not quite wet, but it's the closest thing you can think of. So you trade some goods, and in the interest of time,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if we call it here, then that kind of gives us a chance to discuss offline.
Yeah.
What we want to do.
okay. And we can talk. If you want, we can do another session if you want to like play into this a little bit more. But just kind of like DM cheating, I'm gonna push you away from digging it, like getting in too close.
That's fine.
I mean, if you want to explore more, we can
Yeah.
play that out if you'd like.
That was scary. Just the way you said that.
Yeah. I think it'll be It would they would push you back with about all they've got. Says the sets that you got from going. There was a bit of a violence underneath their tone as you started pushing. I probably didn't convey that appropriately, but like the more you push, the more they were just like, no, if you start doing that, our hospitality will end. And you saw that they could do magic too. So yeah, well, we'll talk offline. And if you want, we could role play more, but if not, we're gonna do a one shot. There's a slight chance I'll have to miss next week, but if not, we're gonna do one shot, and y'all are all gonna be Tabaxis.
Same universe?
And broad strokes, yeah.
Ooh.
So hopefully, we'll talk. I'll send out more details about that. But
Dibs on being someone who never sets foot on the ground, only leaps from furniture to furniture.
all right, that works. Anyway, thanks, y'all. This was fun. I know it was a little strange and like off, but thanks for sticking around.